Top of the morning to you on this Thursday, May 8th. A hockey club gets a mammoth rebrand. A flagship will soon be rechristened. College athletics may get some executive oversight. And the question the whole country asked yesterday was, wait, is this real ID requirement really real? Short answer, kinda, sorta. This is Joe Lemire bringing you the Morning Buzzcast. And from here on out, I'll try to avoid non-sports digressions, like, say, the convening of the Papal Conclave, although there's a sports angle there too. With the WTA's Italian Open taking place in Rome, Coco Gauff is among the players who said she hopes to visit St. Peter's Square to witness history and see the white smoke. But we'll go over to the Mountain Time Zone now, where, less than 13 months ago, the Arizona Coyotes were still a member of the NHL. Only on April 18th, 2024, did the NHL establish a replacement team in Utah, which began play less than 6 months later as the Utah Hockey Club. That timeline and what Smith Entertainment Group accomplished remains a remarkable story, and now, after 4 rounds of fan surveys, 850,000 fan votes, and a little trademark snag, the team now has a permanent name, the Utah Mammoth. The primary logo features a mammoth head and mountain range, and it will preserve the black, white, and blue color palette from this past season. All 41 home games at the Delta Center were sold out, albeit with only 11,131 as the hockey capacity, which led to last week's announcement of a plan to renovate the arena to accommodate more in the future. As our Alex Silverman wrote, Utah Hockey Club sold more than 17,000 jerseys in its first season and recorded the NHL's second-best single game in-arena merchandise sales mark on November 15th of last year. As owner Ryan Smith said, "I think my favorite part was that our fans made it really easy for us. Every single night we were doing the voting, Mammoth just started running away with it." As his wife, Ashley Smith, added, "Utah does things right. I knew whatever the fans decided would be right, and then I knew that SEG would pull it off." NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman joined Ryan and Ashley Smith at a press conference to make the announcement, and while not promising a specific date, indicated that Utah would be a likely candidate for an outdoor game in the near future, whether part of the Winter Classic or Stadium Series, suggesting that University of Utah's Rice-Eccles Stadium might be a suitable host venue. A little bit of the surprise was lost last week when the franchise's YouTube channel briefly renamed itself to Utah Mammoth. It was soon deactivated, but not before the name change had been noted. Speaking of name changes, as part of Disney's earnings call on Wednesday, CEO Bob Iger indicated that ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitaro will reveal the name and price point of the new direct-to-consumer product no later than Tuesday's upfront presentation to advertisers. The pervasive internal codename has been Flagship, so much so that Iger used it on the call and then reminded himself, at some point I've got to stop using that word. Iger also noted that its primetime audience on ESPN networks among 18 to 49-year-olds was up 32% in Q2, setting a new high watermark for primetime viewership among comparable periods. CFO Hugh Johnston added that advertising was up 20% over the period. And lest we forget the big non-sports news of the call, Disney's next theme park will be built in Abu Dhabi. President Trump signaled an interest in weighing in on NIL earlier this week, and now Yahoo Sports has cited sources that he's actually intending to make a more dramatic step by appointing a presidential commission on college athletics. The news story indicated that a wide range of college stakeholders would be involved, likely even Nick Saban, and topics would run the gamut from the active transfer portal to the preservation of the Olympic sports structure, how Title IX figures into school revenue share payments, and even conference issues such as membership makeup and TV contracts. Dan Reed, who has spent the last 11 years at Meta following 10 years at the NBA, announced that he would be leaving the tech giant later this month. After spending more than 7 years as president of the NBA G League, Reed joined what was then known as Facebook in 2014 to start its global sports business. That included strategic partnerships with athletes, teams, leagues, and federations, including a foray into obtaining live sports broadcast rights. At the time, Facebook had barely acquired Instagram and Oculus and hadn't yet launched its live video player. Reed was critical in shaping that early vision and making big tech and social media key drivers of the sports ecosystem through broadcast rights, athlete empowerment, direct brand communication, and more. After 8 years in that role, Reed pivoted within the company to become Chief Operating Officer of Meta's Reality Lab, its multi-billion-dollar business that includes its Quest line of VR headsets and its burgeoning AR product line with AI-enabled Ray-Ban glasses. Reed was named an SBJ 40 Under 40 honoree in 2015 into its 50 most influential list more than once. He did not specify his next career stop, only that he planned to take an extended break with family and to recharge, but wrote that he's happiest when I'm building at the intersection of sports, entertainment, and technology, and he noted that there remains a big opportunity there to explore. Mississippi State announced it would build a $60 million indoor practice facility for its football program. Howard Industries of Laurel led the fundraising and will name the building in honor of Mississippi State multi-sport athlete Billy Howard Sr., a 1946 graduate who starred in football, basketball, and track. They called him Iron Man for playing nearly every minute of every football game, which is certainly an aspirational title for a training facility. Architecture firms CDFL and HOK have been designing it. Groundbreaking isn't expected until 2027, with opening in summer 2028. Whoop, the human performance wearable company with deep inroads among elite athletes, we're talking Patrick Mahomes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Nelly Korda, Rory McIlroy, and so on, is scheduled to make a big announcement later this morning. Social media posts from top executives, not to mention an open letter that CEO Will Ahmed wrote in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and London Times earlier this week, have been not too subtle in hinting that it will be an unveiling of its latest generation of hardware. Ahmed wrote that users can live longer and feel more alive, signaling, most likely, a shift more toward general wellness than primarily fitness. Whoop is a unicorn with a valuation last reported to be about $3.6 billion and having raised several $100 million of venture money. A couple of programming notes as I wrap up today's Buzzcast. The latest sports business journal, Inside the Industry, takes a look at athletes stepping off the playing field and into the boardroom, front office, and owner's box. Abe Madcore and I join Washington Capitals Assistant General Manager Don Fishman and host Tarek El-Bashir for expert discussion and a featured interview with Washington Mystics GM Jamila Weidman. That's SBJ Inside the Industry, available now on SBJ's YouTube channel. Subscribe to get notifications for this debut and all shows as they become available. Also, on this week's SBJ Sports Media podcast, co-hosts Austin Karp and Molly Kaling preview what to expect with upfronts and break down viewership numbers for the Kentucky Derby, as well as for the first rounds of the NHL and NBA playoffs. Plus, a look at John Skipper's Meadowlark Media exit, DAZN's renewed push in the U.S., and FanDuel Sports Network having early success with DTC subscriptions. Like and subscribe to the SBJ Sports Media Podcast, available now on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, like the one you're listening to right now. Thanks again for tuning in. This is Joe Lemire signing off for the Thursday Buzzcast. Have a great day, everyone.